This show is very explicit. So if you're under the age of, I guess 13 really in America, or 12 in some countries, and I will actually really, if you're under the age of 18, you probably still should not listen to this show. But legally, it's fine. Also, do share this show, and try to share it with a mature audience. Thank you. Right, do I have a show for you today? Or tonight? Or wherever you're listening from, and if you are French and in France, then you are my most valuable listener. Because, well, I shouldn't put it in values like that. No, everybody, you all are valuable and VIPs to me. But for some reason, France loves my show specifically. I don't know why, but I'm very grateful for that. I didn't know there was so many English-speaking French people in France, too. And thank you for listening. You're listening to SAS, Starseeds, Angels, Savant Syndrome, with your host, the Mystic Man. I'm very mystical. What does that mean? What does it mean to be a mystic? What is a mystic compared to a psychic? Well, you can actually read all about it in a published article online, published in A Philosopher's Stone, a publication on Medium. Alright, Sean here. I just wanted to talk a little bit about the blame game. That's a tough one. Because we blame, so we don't have to feel our shame. Because all of that negative vibe got to go somewhere, right? A lot of times we catch ourselves in a dispute or an argument, and we want to blame somebody. But you don't want to blame somebody because then you're going to have to forgive them. You got to forgive. That's the thing about healing. Healing takes forgiveness. If you want to heal anything, from yourself to your relationships to your past, it takes forgiveness. So you don't want to just blame because then you got to forgive, right? But then what happens is it goes back to you. And then you say, oh, okay, well, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Now both of these they're okay emotions to feel. Like, no emotion is a bad emotion. Every emotion is okay to feel. The thoughts, you gotta watch out for those. Not all thoughts are okay. So, that's where it comes to, because you blame somebody. I mean, usually in those senses, when you blame somebody, you're kind of a hypocrite. Usually, there's always some kind of circumstance you could twist it around to yourself to see, like, oh, wait, I'm a hypocrite. And then, if you were just to take it as shame, well, what's the difference? You still got to forgive yourself. And both can be nasty, nasty feelings. So how do you get through it? There's a simple technique. It goes a little bit like this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. You see, in that sense, you can forgive all of the thought from them or from you, and just think like, hey, maybe the whole argument is bullshit, and we each have our valid points with the logic that we see, but maybe neither of them is the truth. And that's a funny concept right there, right? Because how are you going to say that what you see is true if you lack the depth of understanding their perspective. It takes 2 eyeballs to see in depth. You can walk around all day with one hand over one eye and try to see depth, try to see depth, try to catch a baseball or something. It's not so easy. But if you have both eyes, you can see better. You can see the truth better. You can see depth better. Now, if it's just you, one ego and another ego, and they're arguing over what they see, wasn't that ironic? Because you kind of need both of them, both eyes, to work together to see the truth. So you got to come to yourself and think, hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's not the way I think it is. Maybe I don't have to get upset. Maybe I don't have to get scared. Maybe I don't have to react. Now that's the key. We're always reacting, like machines. Where's the free will in that? Can it be said that you have free will if you only react? No. So it's a practice. It's hard. We're all conditioned. We're all conditioned to react. We think we know what we see. We feel the emotion. The emotion comes up and we analyze it. And then we react with whatever we think that it is. It's causing us to feel a certain way. Now, it's not easy, even knowing that, it's still hard, because you got to catch yourself in the moment. That takes practice. That takes a lot of practice, unless you're trained at a young age to understand the way that your thoughts work and the way that your heart works. It's not easy. So have a little patience with yourself. Try it out, Next time you're in an argument or a dispute, just stop yourself for a second, Don't even tell them about it. Don't even try to bring up an argument. Well, I heard this one guy on a podcast talk about this and maybe this. No, just do it for yourself, Even if the other person gets lost in their ego and still tries to attack you, just see them and say, hey, maybe, I can forgive as it's happening, because they don't know what they see. They don't know what they're doing, really. They don't understand. It doesn't mean that your truth is any more valuable than their truth. It doesn't mean that you're more right than they are. It doesn't even make you a better person than they are. But it brings peace. Peace to you. Maybe peace to them. We don't have to be reactive. You don't gotta react. You don't gotta attack. You don't gotta judge. You don't gotta name call. And you don't gotta be afraid. Sit with it for a minute, Whatever it is, sit with it. Usually when you let something sit, it turns out to be something else that you didn't even know, that you couldn't even have thought of. Something completely different than what you had imagined it was. Well, that's all I got to say. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. This is Sean. Over and out.
Let's say you just bought a house. Bad news is, you're one step closer to becoming your parents. You'll proudly mow the lawn. Ask if anybody noticed you mowed the lawn. Tell people to stay off the lawn. Compare it to your neighbor's lawn. And complain about having to mow the lawn again. Good news is, it's easy to bundle home and auto through Progressive and save on your car insurance, which, of course, will go right into the lawn. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Discount not available in all states or situations.
Thank you for listening. this has been a very special show. It's been so long. I missed you. Did you miss me? I missed you too. Well, that's okay. I'll try to do more shows and make it up to you. And we could catch up. A lot's going on. A lot. Oh yeah, things are moving very fast. Because I am on a train. No, I'm not on a train. I'm actually just in my room. But, no, when it comes to things like petitions and social movements and news about a certain virus and the discovery of what actually viruses are, which the discovery actually happened kind of 100 years ago during the Spanish flu, but nobody wanted to listen because everybody had the cut-loss fallacy. And yeah, well, I guess, all of the writing about it, well, it turned up. The schools of Rudolf Steiner, the Waldorf education schools, well, the professors there had something to say, but that's for another time. Please, stay tuned for the next episode. I am the Mystic Man, and you've been listening to SAS, Starseeds, Angels, Savant Syndrome. Umau, Kea, Hokaina, Hikapono, O Humanity.